At some point in life, we all journey through hard seasons. And it can bring about questions of our identity like, who am I? And in 2015, I journeyed through a time, it was a divorce. And I know some of you have probably been there. It's a time when I felt like my whole world was turning upside down. Things that I thought to be true, I was really looking in and thinking, you know what? Is this truth? Like, what does truth look like? Who am I at this? Because when those things are stripped, what's left? And I got to the point where I realized that my identity, it wasn't found in my marriage. It wasn't found in my relationships or my circles. It wasn't found in my health. It wasn't even found in my career. That when everything was stripped away, what was left? And I found Jesus there. And Paul writes in Hebrews that Jesus is the author, perfecter, and finisher of our faith. And that's all I had to hang on to at that time. And maybe that's all that you have to hang on to during hard times. What's interesting to me is there's about 70 references in the New Testament that we read in Him or in Christ. And that's what it was. That's what was left. When all that was stripped away, I realized that in me was Jesus. So we can be sure that we have this great high priest who speaks of in Hebrews, that He's able to sympathize with us. He's able to understand when we're going through hard times, that He journeys with us, walks with us. And maybe you've seen that Footprints poem where it talks about that He carries us through those seasons. And He does. But we've got to realize who we really are when everything is taken down, that we still have Him and we're still valued and loved. And so I love that Acts 17:28 says that in Him we live, we move, and we have our being. And when it comes to identity, the beauty of this is we're actually all in this together, because there's an intertwining connection linked by Jesus through all believers, because guess what? We're all children of God. And so we aren't alone. You're not alone in this. I'm journeying with it with you. And so what's great about that is that we can point that back to Jesus. Point back that our faith is in Him, our trust is in Him, our belief is in Him through every season. And what I love is that we are all loved by Him, we're valued, we're chosen, and we are redeemed from this pit of despair, hopelessness, and disappointments during these seasons. And what's wonderful is that He doesn't look at us with shame or disgust. He actually looks at us and sees the beauty of who we are and who He created us to be. And so once we come to the realization of who we are in Christ, you know what? That's when our path lights up. And guess what happens in that path? He begins to show us what our purpose is. And maybe that's you today. Maybe you're struggling with who you are, and maybe you need a time of connection with other believers to encourage you and to help you find out who your identity is in Him. So if that's you, I want you to mark your calendars to May 14th for the Her Conference. Doors open up at 6:30. It's going to be a time to gather together with other women, hear stories of life and truth and hope that points to who? Jesus. And so go to thehillschurch.info